A pretty rare feat in NHL history is the 40-40-40 club, where each member of a line combination scores 40 goals in a single season. So rare, it's only happened 7 times in hockey history, with 4 of them taking place in a 10-year span. Some of the players are legendary, and others not so much. Let's check them out in chronological order. The first trio to reach the Triple 40 Club was the famed goal-a-game line. Not really surprising in hindsight with a nickname like that. This marked the only season Rod Gilbert would score 40, with a career high of 43 goals. Jean Marcel also had a career year, with 46 goals and a tremendous 109 points in only 63 games, a 141-point pace that would have led the league with Phil Esposito's 133. Speaking of Espo, surprisingly the Bruins' high-powered first line never quite got to the Triple 40. It wasn't from a lack of effort from Big Phil, scoring 40-plus in a staggering 7 straight seasons. However, Wayne Cashman never quite got there with a career high of 30, while Ken Hodge hit 40-plus twice. It took nearly 10 years for another legendary line combo to become the second entry into the 40-40-40 club. The Triple Crown Line. A historic season for the combination, as they also became the first line to each score 100 points in a season. And if that wasn't impressive enough, they also fell just short of the Triple 50 Club, a club so exclusive they'd be the only members of it, as Dave Taylor scored 47 goals in 72 games. Not a stretch at all to think he could have gotten to 50 in 10 more games. Speaking of a possible 50-50-50 line, in 92-93, as Alexander McGillney lit up the league with 76 goals, his center Pat LaFontaine scored 53. The forgotten other line mate, Big Dave Andreychuk, had 29 goals in 52 games before being dealt to the Toronto Maple Leafs. He eventually did get over 50 with the Leafs. Who knows what could have happened in a full year in Buffalo. In 1984-85, we'd have 2 lines join the Triple 40 list. We'll cover the most surprising one first, with right winger Mike Bossy leading the way. Hardly a shock considering Bossy is one of the most prolific scorers in hockey history, and also hardly a shock having such a decorated line combination as the Trio Grand be a part of such an exclusive list. Only it wasn't Brian Trottier and Clark Gillies, instead Brent Sutter and John Tonelli. Even crazier, they'd also join the Triple Crown Line in the Triple 100-Point Club. While Tonelli, a vital piece to the Islander dynasty years, had already scored 35 goals and 93 points in the past, the true shock was 22-year-old Brent Sutter. With 42 goals and 102 points, he would never score more than 34 goals or 68 points in any other season. The trio is truly a hidden gem as far as productive lines in hockey history go, and also adds to Mike Bossy's legacy as a true line driver. Also in 84-85, Jari Kurri and Wayne Gretzky scored 70-plus goals each, an absurd record in its own right as the only linemates to ever do so. Their linemate would help them make some more history with 43 goals of his own, the legendary Mike Krushelnyski.
Who the hell are you?
Now, don't get me wrong, Mike was a solid player and a multi-time 20-plus goal scorer and multi-time cup winner, but definitely not a name I thought I'd be saying along the likes of Marcel, Dionne, and Wayne Gretzky. A former Bruins 6th-round pick, Krushelnyski became the superstar duo's most productive linemate with 88 points as well. Quite random, as Mike Krushelnyski would never score more than 26 any other season. That's the power of number 99. Great news for the success of even having a line score 40 goals each. This trio was the first to capture the Stanley Cup in the same season. Fast forward a few years, and Mario Lemieux could add his own line to the record books with his powered forward flanks Rick Tocchet and Kevin Stevens. While Kevin Stevens isn't a surprise, considering in the early 90s he'd put together some of the greatest seasons ever for power forward, Rick Tocchet was also no stranger to hugely productive years, having monster campaigns in Philadelphia. They'd also become the last line in the NHL to each score 100 points in a season. Side note with that last point, depending on your research, Jaromir Jagr, Mario Lemieux, and Ron Francis may also be on the triple 100-point list. I just haven't been able to prove the amount of games they actually played together, and if it should even qualify. Someday we'll get there. The following season, the Calgary Flames trio of Robert Reichel, Gary Roberts and Theo Fleury each scored 40-plus goals, after coming within striking distance the year before. This line represented one of the last Calgary combos to resemble the powerhouse late 80s, early 90s teams, with the franchise becoming increasingly reliant on Theo Fleury as the other gifted offensive players left Calgary. And then we waited a long time.
It's been 84 years.
As scoring got ice cold, we'd wait nearly 20 years before our next line combination. All the way to 2021, but back to Calgary. Calgary Flames' top line would heat up the frigid 40-goal scoring club with Matthew Tkachuk, Johnny Gaudreau, and Elias Lindholm. Maybe the most depressing line on this list, especially for Flames fans. Within a few seasons, every member of the elite line combination would be gone from the franchise. And that concludes our list. Every line in NHL history to each have 40 goals in a single season. I think we'll see another entry very soon and more frequently. Not sure if they'll play together, but keep an eye on Tampa's Jake Guentzel, Nikita Kucherov, and Braden Point. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe.